Some people have asked me how I heat the bottom of my cages. What I do is I use THG. I'm actually switching over a couple things. This is the old FlexWatt. I don't know, it's not as durable, it's not as thick. I don't like the connections. You can see the gaps where, you know, there's, you know, that's a big part of heat missing. You know, then you have this stuff, which is called THG, and it's just, even the heat is just more even throughout. It warms up a lot faster. You don't have to use as much power to get the same amount of heat. You know, these Visions, the way that I heat them up, I have to set up, you know, the bottom here, you know, the probe is set at like, to get a hot spot of 89, 88, I have to set it at, you know, 93, 94. On these, I literally can set it at 89 and it goes through the cage. So you use less energy. The connections are a lot nicer. They're, you know, an eye bolt, stuff like that. So I'm switching over all my cages. You know, it burns a lot smoother. This is the way I set it up. I set it up on this insulation backing board. And what that does, that lets it breathe, but at the same time, it reflects the heat, you know, back up to the cage instead of, you know, maybe, because I use wood, instead of, you know, warming up the wood, you know, and then I have to use more heat, it's getting a more, a better heat spot, you know, and heating up the cage more direct. So this is what I'm doing. I mean, this is my Sula's cage. She's not in there, obviously. I got to clean it too, but so this is what I use. You can get this stuff from Reptile Basics. They've got a really good deal on it. You know, just get the whole kit. You know, if you're going to do 2 strips like I'm doing, you know, obviously you got to run 2 probes, you know, stuff like that. It can get expensive, but that way the snake can, you know, Cinnabon on instead of just sitting. I mean, you can see my white phase, how she's, you know, she's just hanging out and relaxing and stuff like that. So there you go. That's how I heat it up. And this is what I use. It's, like I said, it's a lot nicer. There's no gaps in it. It's, you know, the same all the way throughout. And it warms up a better spot. So I'm switching everything over. I mean, don't get me wrong, the FlexWatt was nice. You know, I've hatched eggs out on it. You know, I use it in my incubator, to be honest with you. But this stuff, just longevity and everything else like that. I mean, I've been using it now for a good 3 years. Never had a single issue with any of it. My FlexWatt, a couple of them have failed, you know, here and there, just, you know, turned off. Luckily, they didn't turn on. You know, they just short-circuited and stopped. And this stuff, you know, going 3 years strong, the FlexWatt only made 2 years before I had to replace a couple of it. So I replace my stuff anyway every 2 to 3 years. I'm going on 3 years on this. I'll probably go maybe another year, maybe, with the THG, so maybe 4 years. But with the FlexWatt, you really got to go every 2 to 3 years, in my opinion, or check it constantly. So there you go, guys. Thanks.